Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Om Kyana Timirandasya Kyananchana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So, one idea came to me, inspired by my Gurudev, because he said that actually his favorite book is Śrī Prema-Bhakti-Candrikā. So one idea came to me that I would like to read from Srila Gurudev's books, and starting with Prema-Bhakti-Candrikā. And I was thinking to start with the wonderful verses of Narottam Das Thakur describing the essence of Rāgānugā-Bhakti. It starts with verse 48 and it goes up to, I think, 68. So these wonderful verses are within the Prema-Bhakti-Candrikā in the middle, and they are considered to be the essence of Rāgānugā-Bhakti. So Narottam Das Thakur, our great Acharya, he shows us very practically how to perform and everything about Rāgānugā-Bhakti, and our Gurudev Srila Anandadas Babaji Maharaj, he explains it very wonderfully. So I will read his tika, and if there is something to add or say, I will say, otherwise we will let it speak for itself. They are so wonderful in itself, the tikas, and I will try my best to present them. But first I would like to give a little introduction to the topic of Rāgānugā-Bhakti, since these days there are still some misconceptions about Rāgānugā-Bhakti. So I would like to speak about what is Rāgānugā-Bhakti, who is eligible to perform it, and how it is to perform. And then we go straight to the first of those beautiful verses, starting with 48. So, what is Rāgānugā-Bhakti? Srila Rupa Goswami Pad describes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu actually two types of Raga Bhakti. He says there is Rāgātmika Bhakti and Rāgānugā-Bhakti. I will only now very shortly do this and give you the Shastric evidence and the quotes and maybe some words, and then straight we go into Prema-Bhakti-Candrikā. So we find in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 272 Ishtes varasiki raga parama vishtata pavet tanmayat pavet bhakti satra rakatmikodita. That spontaneous attraction for the Ishtadev, the worshipable deities of one's heart choice, combined with complete absorption in thoughts of him with an intense desire of love, is termed Rāgātmika Bhakti. So here we have Rāgātmika Bhakti. We will shortly see what it really means. Then in the next, in one verse, is described the Rāgānugā-Bhakti. Virachatim abhivyaktam brachavasi chanadishu Rāgātmikam anushrita yasa Rāgānugō-chate. So that bhakti which is directed to following the moods and mellows of Sri Krishna's eternal Rāgātmika Vrindavan associates is termed Rāgānugā-Bhakti. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-207. So here we have these two forms of Raga Bhakti. One is Rāgātmika Bhakti, one is Rāgānugā-Bhakti. So Rāgātmika Bhakti means the Bhakti Rāgātmika of those Nityasiddha devotees like Radhika, Lalita, Vishaka, Mata Yashoda, all the associates of Krishna and Vrindavan who are eternally present in the spiritual world. They have this raga in their atmika, in their own soul. So these Rāgātmika devotees are our role models, and we as Rāgānugā-Bhaktis, we follow those perfect examples. So we perform Rāgānugā-Bhakti, they perform Rāgātmika Bhakti, and Anuga, we follow them, those who perform Rāgātmika Bhakti. So this is the difference. No? Very, very important point. So actually Bhakti is subdivided into three categories, three steps. One is sadhana bhakti, one is bhava bhakti, one is prema bhakti. Sadhana bhakti is devotion and practice. Bhava bhakti is devotion and relishing transcendental ras. and Prema Bhakti, devotion, Bhakti in complete love of God. So the first stage in sadhana bhakti, we have two possibilities in sadhana bhakti. One is Vaidhi Bhakti, and one, Rupa Goswami is saying, is Rāgānugā-Bhajana. Both go through these stages. There is Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, Vaidhi bhava bhakti, Vaidhi prema bhakti. And so parallel, there is Rāgānugā sadhana bhakti, Rāgānugā bhava bhakti, Rāgānugā prema bhakti. So both run parallel. It may be that you start with Vaidhi bhakti and you pick up starting Rāgānugā bhakti, or you start by the mercy of Krishna and his devotee, you start with Rāgānugā bhakti. So, but Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions something very special. Ei mata kore je Rāgānugā bhakti Krishnera charane thanir upaya pririti. Priti ankurerati bhaba hoy dui nam yaha hoite boshahana Sri Bhagavan. If a person worships by the process of Rāgānugā bhakti, his love for Krishna will gradually become awakened. That love in the awakening stage is called rati or bhav. It is by this bhav of the devotee that the Lord becomes subjugated. So here we see that actually Rāgānugā bhakti is very, very powerful. Rakamai bhaktira hoy rakatmika nama taha shuni lupta hoy kono bhokyaman lope braje basira bhābe kore anugoti. The bhakti of the Brajbasis, Krishna's eternal associates, is filled with deep attachment for the Lord. This is called Rag-atmika bhakti. If one should hear about this type of bhakti and then becomes anxious for it, lubdha, he is truly fortunate. Such a person will then eagerly follow the moods and mellows of those devotees. So this is actually the meaning of Rāgānugā bhakti. So, Rāgānugā bhakti has much more power, Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, than Vaidhi bhakti. No one attracts me more, he says, than when he performs Rāgānugā bhakti. So who is eligible for practicing Rāgānugā bhakti? This is a highly discussed topic, but it's actually a very easy topic, because sometimes it is said you have to have a pure heart and you have to be a pure devotee to start with Rāgānugā bhakti. This is actually not what the acharyas are telling us. Srila Rupa Goswami describes the eligibility. Tatad bhavadi maturya shrute dhirat apekshate natra shastram nayuktim jatal lobot pati lakshanam. When the sweetness of the bhavs and activities of the eternal associates of Krishna in Vraja are listened to from the Bhagavatam and allied scriptures that deal with the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, and when by such hearing there is awakened in the heart, even to a limited degree, a realization of the supreme beauty and sweetness of the gopis and gopas of Vraja, then the intellectual faculty of such a person is no longer bound by unrelated scriptural injunctions or mere human reasoning or unfavorable arguments. Such a state is said to be the cause and sign of the awakening of the devotee's intense craving for Rāgānugā bhakti. So even by a mere extent, we are anxious to hear about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. We are become eligible for practicing Rāgānugā bhakti. Then Rupa Goswami continues, Tata adhikari ragatmikai kanishtaye brachavasi chanadaya tesham bhavaptaye lupto bhavet atra kiravan. If one becomes lupta or anxious to follow the moods and mellows of Krishna's Ragatmika Braja associates, then that anxiousness alone is a sufficient cause to have the adhikar, the eligibility to begin the process of Rāgānugā bhakti. Very important point. So when we feel anxious, when we feel the desire to learn about these wonderful activities of the associates of Krishna, Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan, we become eligible. Very beautiful. See, Rupa Goswami goes further. Shrimurti maturim kripekshya tat lal lilam nishamyava tad bhava kangshino shusteshu saranatanayu purane shruyate patme pungshang api bhave diyam. Those who aspire and long for the different sentiments of the Braja Gopis after listening to the Madhurya Leelas of the Lord, or after seeing the beauty of the Vigraha, Murti image, or portraits of the Lord are alone eligible to follow the path of Rāgānugā Bhakti. In Padma Purana it is stated that even males may become attracted to attaining these bhavas. So here we have enough of that, enough shastric evidence to understand the eligibility for practicing Rāgānugā Bhakti. It's not starting with the highest stage. Some say we should start at Ashakti, or even Ruchi is a very high stage. But here it is said, a little desire, let's perform you Rāgānugā sadhana bhakti. It starts, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he states, Atha Rāgānugā bhakti machanasya nartha nivritti nishtanucha sakyanantaram prema bhumi karudasya sakshat svapishta prapti prakara pradarshate. So he says, he proves that actually Rāgānugā Bhakti starts in Bhajana Kriya. Thereafter, how does the Rāgānugā Bhakti sadhaka attain to the progressive stages of Anartha, Nivritti, Ruchi, Ashakti, and Bhav and Prema, and then reach the fulfillment of all desire? That may be explained as follows. So, and then he continues to explain this, but here it is very much important to see that he says that the sadhaka in Rāgānugā sadhana bhakti progresses through the stages of Anartha, Nivritti, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhav, and Prem. So, he progresses through means he starts where? What is the stage before? It's Nishta. And before Nishta it is Bhajana Kriya. So we go from Bhajana Kriya, we go to Anartha Nivritti, and then Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti, and Bhav. So we see here clearly that the Rāgānugā Bhakta, the sadhaka, is not starting at Ruchi, Ashakti. It clearly said progressive stages. This is very wonderful, and Srila Jiva Goswami discusses this topic also in Bhakti Sandarbha. He speaks about Chataruchi sadhakas, devotees who have attained to the stage of relishing this form of 24-hour bhajans continuously in bliss, and Achataruchi, those who have not yet attained such a stage of attractive. Both are practicing Rāgānugā Bhakti. So this is very important. There are those in the beginning who are Achataruchi, who have not great taste, and those who are more progressing in bhakti, those are called Chataruchi. They have more and deep taste. Those bhaktas who have developed some interest in the path of Rāgānugā Bhakti sadhana, but who do not possess such a deep hankering as the Chataruchi Rāgānugā Bhaktas, should combine the principles of Vaidhi with the performance of Rāgānugā sadhana. Here's a very nice advice how to really perform in the beginning Rāgānugā Bhakti. And with Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur part, he explains this very clearly in Rāgāvātma-Candrikā, how we should combine Vaidhi Bhakti and Rāgānugā Bhakti, those items who are favorable, and all this is very much nicely detailed in Rāgāvātma-Candrikā. And Rupa Goswami supports this too. Shravanot kirtanadini Vaidhi Bhaktu ditani tu yangani cha thanyatra vikenati manisipi. In Rāgānugā Bhakti sadhana, the limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti, such as the 9 processes of Bhakti beginning with Shravana and Kirtana, accepting the shelter of a guru, performing Ekadashi fasting, etc., etc., should also be accepted. And Vishwanath Chakravarti part, he's going in this verse and he is more and nicely explaining the details. So this is now the eligibility. We start with having not much taste. So then how do we practice it? Rupa Goswami is saying, Krishnam smaram chananchasya preshtam nicha samihitam tatat kataratas chaso kuryadvasam braje sada. One should live in Vrindavan and perform smarna, or remembrance of Krishna, along with his dearest Vrindavan associates, and in particular those associates that the devotee himself would like to attain the service of. This should be constantly done, so we should constantly discuss the topics of those particular devotees in relation to Krishna. Rupa Goswami is telling, I asked my Gurudev, and he said, if you cannot do this with your body, if you cannot live bodily in Vrindavan, you can do it in the mind. So then I asked Baba, can we also attain perfection? Baba said yes. Siddhi and perfection can also be attained in the West if your consciousness is in Vrindavan, if your consciousness is in Radhakund. So it is a stage of consciousness. Rupa Goswami is saying one should live in Vrindavan. This is the mind. He should be there, living in Vrindavan, to hear about it and to meditate about Vrindavan. Right. So then, how to perform seva sadhaka rupena, sita rupena chatrahi, tad bhava lipshuna karya braja loka-beda-sāra. The Rāgānugā devotional practicer, the sadhaka, who is desirous of attaining the position of an eternal associate of the Lord in Vrindavan, should follow the moods and mellows of those particular associates in two ways. One, externally as a sadhaka, the devotee should follow all the rules and regulations, or all this, what is given by the Goswamis, what our Mahajans are giving us. And two, internally in one siddha rupa, spiritual form conceived within the mind, meditate on the seva of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. So seva sadhaka rupena, we follow the Goswamis of Vrindavan. Siddha rupena, rupa manjari, rati manjari. This is the practical way how to do this, Rupa Goswami is saying. And then he says how it should be done. It's very nice, actually. And this how to is done is siddha rupena seva means atmanam chintaye. Rupa Goswami is giving this wonderful verse. The Rāgānugā sadhaka should meditate on her own form to be that of a beautiful, youthful Kishori Gopi who is most attractive to the mind of Krishna. So many verses are there how to do this. Ataeva Gopi Bhav, for example, and then also this one here. This is also a very nice one from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, how to perform. Boya antara ihara dui sadhana, boyi sadhakateya kore shravana kirtana. Mane nicha siddha-deha koriya bhavana ratri dine kori braje Krishna sevana. Sadhana bhakti should be performed both externally and internally. First, one should engage the body and the external senses in the process of devotional service, beginning with Shravana and Kirtana, hearing and chanting. Next, internally, one should engage the mind to think of one's siddha-deha, spiritual body, and in that spiritual body, to day and night perform seva to Krishna in Vrindavan. So these are actually the practical advices the Acharya give us how to perform Rāgānugā Bhakti in allegiance to the teachings of our Śrī Gurudev. So seva sadhaka rupena and siddha rupena. So these two items are very much important for the Rāgānugā Bhakta, that we follow all items of Vaidhi Bhakti, all 9 glorious ways of Bhakti, but we focus on also identifying ourselves with our Siddha Swarup. So now I thought to start, this is the introduction to Rāgānugā Bhakti, and in Prema-Bhakti-Candrikā, Srila Narottam Das Thakur is starting with verse 48 and up to 68, so I will try to maybe every day, every second day, several days in a week, I will see how much time there is, maybe every day. I will read one verse and read also the Tika of my beloved Gurudev. So we start today with verse 48. Rāgera bhajane pate kahi abhimata loka-beda-sāra sakhīra anugā haiyā braje siddha-deha pāiyā bhābe juḍābe parāṇī. Narottam Das Thakur is saying, actually singing, now I will tell you the opinion of the saints and the scriptures about the path of spontaneous devotion. These words are the essence of the popular and Vedic teachings. If you follow in the footsteps of the Sakhis, you will attain a spiritual body in Vraja. In this way, you will gratify your spiritual self. Here we hear Sakhis. All manjaris are Sakhis, but not all Sakhis are manjaris. Narottam Das Thakur will focus more and more on Manjari Bhav, because he himself was also Manjari. My Gurudev writes, the ways of Rāgānugā Bhakti, Sutta Karnika Vyakya, is called this Tika. From this Tripadi, these verses are called Tripadis. From this Tripadi onwards, the worshipper Srila Thakur Mahashoy describes expertise in the ways of Rāgānugā-Bhajana, most of all of Srimad Mahaprabhu's great gift, the practice of Manjari Bhav. Gurudev is coming straight to the point. He's not talking around around stuff. He is coming straight. Describes most of all Srimad Mahaprabhu's great gift, the practice of Manjari Bhav. First, Narottam Das Thakur says, rāgera bhajana patha epe kahi abhimata loka-beda-sāra bāṇī. This means that abhimata, according to the scriptures and the saints, we will speak of rāgera-bhajana patha, the subject of rāga-bhajana. This bāṇī, this teaching of mine is the loka-beda-sāra, of mine, Narottam Das Thakur's mine, his teaching. It is the loka-beda-sāra. Sara means essence, the essence of popular and scriptural sayings. This means that the words of the experienced followers of the path of raga and raga scriptures like Sri Gopala Tapani Shruti and Srimad Bhagavat, the essence of the Vedanta scriptures that elaborately describe all subject matters concerning Rāgānugā-Bhajana, are the greatest. First of all, we can understand from these words of the blessed author that his teachings are not his mental fancies. And on the other hand, we can understand in essence that the subject of Rāgānugā is elaborately described by the scriptures and the saints. Therefore, those who want to know the essence of Rāgānugā-Bhajana should most certainly study this Prema-Bhakti-Candrikā of Srila Thakur Mahashoy. Here's a very, very important point. Always is Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. So Narottam Das Thakur is a great acharya of our lineage, of our wonderful Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, and he would never say something which is not in full accordance to Vedic scriptures and to the previous acharyas like the six Goswamis. Rāgānugā-Bhajana is an elaborate and confidential subject matter. Now we might wonder, why is Tarun Govinda Das now speaking about it publicly on Facebook? Because it is now the time to speak about it. Now is the time to realize these things, to really, and those who, that it will not be broadcasted to the millions, only those who really are attracted to Rāgānugā-Bhajana will listen to it. So it is now the time, in this difficult time, to face and focus on the essence. This Raga Bhakti is directly present within the eternally perfect residence of Vraja, the eternal associates of the Lord. Ragatmika Bhaktas. Devotion in allegiance to them is called Rāgānugā-Bhakti. Therefore, rāgera-bhajana patha is understood to mean the path of Rāgānugā-Bhakti here. Virachantim avyayuktam brajavasi chanadishu ragatmikam anusritya yasa Rāgānugā-Bhajana. That's what I just quoted before. Gurudev is saying here again. The devotion which is evidently present within the residence of Vraja is called ragatmika, and the devotion in its wake is called Rāgānugā. Therefore, without first knowing the characteristics of ragatmika, we cannot understand Rāgānugā-Bhakti. The definition of ragatmika is as follows: Ishte svarasiki raga parama vishtatabhave tanmai yat pavet bhakti shatra ragatmikodita. What I quoted before, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-272. The natural, complete absorption in one's own chosen deity, or the loving thirst that lies at the root to that paramount absorption, is called raga, and devotion with an abundance of such raga is called ragatmika bhakti. The purport of this is that the natural deep loving thirst towards the chosen deity is called the svarupa lakshan, or the intrinsic characteristic, the essence of raga. Just as the senses automatically engage in the tangible sense objects and do not depend on any encouragement. Every one of us knows this. Similarly, the deep loving thirst towards the own desired Lord is natural for the Raga Bhakta. It is not caused by anyone's encouragement. It's a high stage. This is not our stage, Ajata Ruchi. So this is high stage, and of course the Rāgānugā eternal associates, they have it eternally in their soul. Just as water turns into ice due to contact with frost, grass and other things can enter into water, but cannot enter into ice. Similarly, when loving thirst becomes very, very deep, the heart of the loving devotee cannot seek even the slightest personal happiness any more other than the happiness of Krishna. This is where we want to be. Then all activities become centered around Krishna's happiness. No selfish desires. This deep thirst causes one to be fully absorbed in the chosen deity. This is also interesting. My Gurudev, many times he says chosen. He's not saying that it is already somewhere there in your heart. So no, you choose. You by your own individuality and by the mercy of the saints, you can develop a particular rasa which you want to follow. This deep thirst causes one to be fully absorbed in the chosen deity. This is the tatashta lakshan, or the marginal characteristic of raga. So the intrinsic was the thirst, and now comes the tatashta lakshan, or the marginal characteristic, to be absorbed in the deity. Both, it said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, akriti prakriti tui swarupa lakshana karyatvara jnana e tatashta lakshana. Both the form and the nature are the intrinsic characteristics, and the knowledge acquired through activities is the marginal characteristic. This ragamai, or Rāgānugā Bhakti, is only present within the eternally perfect associates of the Lord in Vraja. Those who perform bhajan after becoming greedy, after the particular feelings of the Rāgānugā Vraja people, and who follow these feelings of those Rāgānugā devotees according to their own mood, our own mood, we are practicing a devotion named Rāgānugā Bhakti. So, the form of Rāgānugā Bhakti and the nature of Rāgānugā Bhakti is the intrinsic characteristic, the most important, and the knowledge coming from thereof is the marginal characteristic. And we who follow the Rāgānugas, we are called Rāgānugā Bhaktis. So, following the practice of this Rāgānugā Bhakti, the moonlight of Raga that shines within the hearts of the eternally perfect Braja people begins to rise within the heart of the practitioner of Rāgānugā Bhakti and begins to shine there. Then Gurudev is quoting Bhakti Rasamrita 310. When the moonlight in the heart of the eternally perfect Rāgānugā Bhaktas shines on the crystal-like hearts of those devotees who became attracted to the aforementioned kind of passionate love, but who have not yet awakened that special passion themselves. And when they hear about the expertise, that is the loving mental, physical or vocal activities of these Rāgānugā Bhaktas from the mouths of Guru and Sadhu or from the scriptures, they also gain taste for such activities. Wonderful, wonderful verse. So the moonlight in the heart of the eternally perfect Rāgānugas, Radhika, all Manjaris, Upa Manjari, Radha Manjari, it will be reflected in our hearts. Our heart is like a crystal, and this beautiful light will be reflected in our heart. So we have to purify more and more our heart, that this beautiful, beautiful love of this Nitya Krishna, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, this wonderful love can touch our hearts and can stay in our hearts. But even if we have not, Gurudev is saying here, even if we have not yet developed that special passion, still we gain more and more taste for such activities by hearing about them from the lotus mouth of Guru and Sadhu. Like this we start and awaken this greed, this more and more taste will come by hearing about the activities of the ragatmikas from the mouths of Guru and Sadhu. More and more we hear about this, the more and more we will develop this taste. So Baba is now saying, nice explanation, the purport of this is that when the hearts of the devotees are crystal clear, free from the contaminations of lust and anger, and they hear about the loving activities of the eternally perfect Ragatmika Bhaktas from the mouths of Shri Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, their hearts will light up just as crystal lights light up when the moonlight shines on it, and taste will awaken for these devotees' loving activities. So Baba is saying here that actually, when our hearts become more and more clear, when we become crystal clear, free from contaminations of lust and anger, our hearts will light up fully. It will be full-blown attraction. And this will light up our hearts. And taste, strong taste, ruchi, will awaken then very, very deep. It will be very strong then when the more the heart gets purified, the more this taste will develop. This is a very important point. Driven by this taste, they engage in a kind of devotion that follows in its wake and which is called Rāgānugā-Bhakti. Without allegiance to the Ragatmika Bhaktas, this Rāgānugā-Bhajana can never reach perfection. So we have to, as a sadhaka, we have to try to purify our heart by hearing and chanting by the ways of bhakti, so that these rays from the moonlight of the eternal associates, Rupa Manjari, Adi Manjari, can enter into our heart. We have to make it like a clear, pure crystal, and then it can fully light up our hearts. But that doesn't mean that first of all we have to purify our heart completely and then this can come. No, it said that in the verse of Jiva Goswami says that the rays of this moonlight, they come already, but the more the heart is purified, the more it will shine. These beautiful rays of love can shine there. So Baba is saying here we have to focus on getting free from material contamination so that we can fully relish this wonderful taste. First we are achataruchi sadhakas with not much taste, and then we come to chataruchi when our heart becomes crystal clear. So, without allegiance to the Ragatmika Bhaktas, this Rāgānugā-Bhajana can never reach perfection. Baba is giving a wonderful verse now. I don't know from which it is. I will just read the English translation. It starts with Vraja lokera bhābe ye korai bhajan se jana poi vache vrachendranandan. Whoever performs bhajan in the mood of the people of Braj will attain Vrachendranandan in Braj. All the Upanishads follow the path of the gopis and worship the son of the queen of Vraja in the mood of the gopis. In another creation, they attain gopi bodies in Vraja, with which they perform the rasa play with Krishna. Even when worshipping him, if it is not done in allegiance to the gopis or with the feelings of awe and reverence, Vrachendranandan will not be attained. The example of that is Lakshmi. She worshipped Krishna but still did not attain Vrachendranandan in Braj. Vraja's eternally perfect associates in Krishna come in four moods: servanthood, friendship, parental love, and amorous love. And thus, there are also four kinds of people who yearn for these four kinds of moods. Those who yearn for the mood of servanthood will follow the eternal perfect servants like Raktaka and Patraka, and so. Those who yearn for the mood of friendship will follow Krishna's friends like Subal and Madhumangal. Those who yearn for parental love, Vatsalya Bhav, will follow parents like Nanda and Yashoda. And those who yearn for amorous love will follow Śrī Rādhika, Lalita, and others. In this way, everyone accomplishes Rāgānugā-Bhajana. So here is also a very, very important point. All who follow these four rasas can be in Rāgānugā-Bhajana. In this particular Kali age, Sriman Mahaprabhu and the Goswamis like Rupa and Rāgānugā-Das, who have surrendered to Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, have distributed the worship of Manjari Bhav or Radha-dasyam, which is in the topmost class of amorous love. This is the beloved Rāgānugā-Bhajana of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Hence, Sri Thakur Mahashaya has said, sakhīra anugā hoye braje siddha-deha pāiyā, sai bhābe juḍābe parāṇī. Being a follower of the Sakhis, I will attain a spiritual body in Vraja. That feeling will soothe my heart. So here, my Gurudev is saying actually that many people criticize us for saying only Manjari Bhav is real, only Manjari, exclusive. No, Baba is saying here those who follow in this other fora, servanthood, friendship, parental love, and conjugal love, all of those are practicing Rāgānugā Bhakti. But Mahaprabhu, he came to give a very special gift, and this very special gift is for those who are interested in its Manjari Bhav. So Gurudev will give more. We'll go now more into this topic. The fish-like hearts of the Manjaris who have surrendered to Śrī Rādhā's lotus feet freely swim in the ocean of rasa that arises from the meeting of Śrī Krishna, who is the embodiment of deep transcendental flavors and eros personified, with Śrī Rādhika, who is filled with Mahabhav. And this gives them an ecstasy which is incomparable with any other bliss within the transcendental kingdom. So the Kinkaris always strive to arrange Radha and Krishna's meeting, that they two are together and nothing for themselves. The Gaudiya Vaishnava practitioners who have surrendered to Sriman Mahaprabhu's lotus feet will become greedy after this practice of Manjari Bhav by the grace of Guru or the sadhus from their own tradition. So Rāgānugā Bhakti is actually only the cause of Rāgānugā Bhakti is only the mercy of Guru and Krishna. When they take shelter of Shri Guru's lotus feet, they will become acquainted with their own Nitya Siddha Manjari Swarup and their intrinsic Ekadash Bhav, 11-fold spiritual personality, name, form, color, seva, dress, etc. In this way, they continue doing bhajana externally in their material practitioner bodies by hearing and chanting the Lord's glories, and in their mentally conceived spiritual Manjari bodies, thinking around the clock, according to our adhikas, what we can do, about Śrī Rādhā Madhava's pastimes and their devotional service therein, in allegiance to Śrī Lalita and the Sakhis and Rupa Manjaris and the other Manjaris. Whatever is ordered, we do. After they attain the perfection of bhajan or prema, Shri Krishna's yoga maya energy will bless the practitioners by giving them the direct devotional service of Śrī Rādhā Madhava in their mentally conceived spiritual body within the kingdom of Lila. Wow! How wonderful is this promise? I repeat, after they attain the perfection of bhajan or prema, Shri Krishna's yoga maya energy will bless the sadhaka, the practitioners, by giving them the direct devotional service of Śrī Rādhā and Krishna in their mentally conceived spiritual body within the kingdom of Lila. Beautiful. In this way, their hearts will be soothed or cooled off by attaining the long desired and thirsted for service of Radha and Krishna in the mood of a maidservant of Śrī Rādhā. Nothing else can soothe the hearts of the Gaudiya Vaishnava sadhakas. Sahi bhava juḍābe parāṇī. All glories to Narottam Das Thakur, all glories to my beloved Gurudev for giving us such a wonderful explanation. I repeat the verse again, which was here, 48. Rāgera bhajane patha koi abhimata loka-beda-sāra sakhīra anugā Vraja siddha-deha pāiyā bhābe juḍābe parāṇī. Now I will tell you the opinion of the saints and the scriptures about the path of spontaneous devotion. These words are the essence of the popular and the Vedic teachings. If you follow in the footsteps of the Sakhis, you will attain a spiritual body in Vraja. In this way, you will gratify your spiritual self. It's an interesting sentence. In this way, you will gratify your spiritual self. That means in this way, you will realize and do the best actually for yourself. That this is the best. If you attain your spiritual body, you will be forever happy in your siddha-deha. This is a very wonderful beginning of this more like 20 verses, all about Rāgānugā-Bhakti, and many points my Gurudev already spoke about in it. Now it will go deeper and deeper, and with very practical advices of Śrī Rādhā Das Thakur. And we should not be discouraged that we say, oh, I'm not qualified, I cannot do this. No. We are archata ruchi sadhakas. We have not yet, I speak for myself, not yet attained the big taste, the huge taste. But we go step by step, and by hearing these beautiful words of the Mahajans, our hearts becomes more and more clean, and by Shravan and Kirtan and Maranam and hearing, daily we can make our heart, like Baba said in the Tika, like a crystal, so that this prema can nicely enter in our heart and light up our crystal in our heart. So we should be careful about all these enemies of the soul, lust, anger, greed, envy. These go away when we focus on serving of Sri Gurudev. All these obstacles, they will pass if we have firm faith and we take the hands of Gurudev, and he will pull us out and pull us on the right way, on the journey of Rāgānugā-Bhakti. Jai Gurudev, Dandavat Pranam to the assembled devotees. Jai Śrī Rādhā.